Hello, guys, and welcome back to Sports Betting University. And I just want to thank you guys for being patient with me, even though I was not consistent. And the reason for that is I've been monitoring the games at the Club World Cup because we've seen that most teams have not performed like we expected them to. I'm talking about teams like Real Madrid, which drew their first game against Al Hilal uh, when Valverde missed the penalty in the stoppage time. I'm talking about teams like Manchester City. As much as they won, but we expected them to score like more goals against Wydad. I'm talking about teams like Inter Milan, which lost their first game. I'm talking about PSG, which lost their second game. So I've been monitoring such games so that I can make further and thorough analysis of the games that are following, and also to make statistical and informed predictions. Without further ado, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and let's get right into it. So today we have only three matches that we're going to analyze and make predictions based on. And the first match we have is for Juventus against Wydad. So we saw that in the first game, Juventus won 5-0 against Al Ain in their first game, and then Wydad lost 2-0 to Manchester City. So this is a game between two teams, one in Europe and one in Africa, and both teams are very good in their attacks because we saw with Juventus players like Randall Colomwani, Francisco Conceição, they are very good in their attack and very creative towards the goals. And also, when it comes to weighted, we saw players like Timbinkosi Lodge, a South African player, which gave a very good performance against Manchester City with a few shots on target, chances created, but they couldn't score any goal. So, when it comes to these two teams, we saw that both of them are creative and they're very much attacking. So, with thorough analysis, we saw that the game for Juventus and Al Ain ended with 5 goals, and also there were corners. So there were 8 corners. Juventus created 5, and then Al Ain created 3. And for the match between Wydad and Manchester City, we saw that there were 14 corners, 9 from Manchester City and 4 from Wydad. So we can see that both teams are very much attacking and threatening towards the goals. And we see that with the chances created and the blocked shots, which resulted in corners and the saves from the keepers as well. So for this match, I think a safe bet would be to go with the corners, because as much as Juventus want all the points, Wydad also wants the points as well. And Juventus are already good when it comes to the goals because they scored 5. They have like 5 goal difference, so it's good for them. Even if they draw the match, they won't be on the worst side. So for this one, I believe that both teams will show up and they will perform. So I think betting on the corners is a safe bet because, like we saw, Juventus had 8 corners in their match, and Wydad had 14 corners. So the safest bet for this game, I'm choosing over 8.5 corners. That would be the safest bet because when it comes to the goals and when it comes to uh, straight wins or double chances, uh, these teams can be skeptical at times. So over 8.5 seems like a pretty safe bet or selection for this fixture. The second match we have is Real Madrid versus Pachuca from Mexico. So looking at this fixture, we realize that Real Madrid need the points desperately. And we saw in the last game they drew 1-1 against Al Hilal, and we saw a mess of a penalty from Valverde in the last minutes of the game. So they do need the points for this game. And looking at Pachuca, they lost 2-1. They lost 2-1 against Salzburg. So we also noticed that when it comes to Real Madrid, there's some players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, which we can assume that they are not yet comfortable with the team. They're still adjusting. But we do know that they are good players, they're big players. They played for big teams. There's also players like Mbappe who are not available in the first game, and we believe that they'll be available, that he will be available for today's game. And with that being said, Real Madrid stand to have better chances converted to goals. And like I said, they do need these points. So for this fixture, Madrid seems like a very strong team, and we expect nothing less than a win from them. So I'm gonna choose a straight win for Real Madrid, and we also expect some goals. So I'm gonna say over 2.5. Real Madrid straight win. You can also choose over 2.5, or if you want to combine them, you can also say Real Madrid and over 2.5. So that seems like a very safe bet for this fixture. The third match that we have for today is Manchester City versus Al Ain FC. So Manchester City won their last game against Wydad 2-0. Al Ain lost their last game 5-0 against Juventus. So we expect nothing less than a win from Manchester City, and because they do need all the points to qualify for the round of 16. Uh, so it's a strong team against Al Ain. Of course, we expect them to win, and we also expect goals. But we saw what happened with Wydad, where they only scored 2 goals, and we actually expected more from them. So we can be safe on the predictions. If you want to bet corners, you can go with the corners. But in games like this, Manchester City tends to keep the ball most of the time, create chances, and be clinical and score more goals instead of making a lot of corners. But one thing for sure is Al Ain is going to put their defense uh, up for this game. I don't think uh, they will attack more. They will defend more. So they will defend more, I mean. So for this fixture, I think the safest bet is to go with Manchester City and over 1.5 goals. We would go for 3 goals, like over 2.5 or more, but we saw what happened, like I said, with Wydad. So I think the safest bet is Manchester City and over 1.5 goals. So we expect Manchester City to win and score 2 goals in this game. They will play in the early hours of tomorrow, since well there's a time difference between America and South Africa and also other countries as well. So those are the 3 matches that we have for today, and I wish you guys all the best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.